So I'm out here at the prairie dog town at Kiwanis Park to get some pictures of the destruction that they wreaked upon it. And I'm going to confront some of the workers over here. See, look at this. These deep ruts right here over the burrows of these prairie dogs. This was one of the main areas right here. This was a big berm. None of this was like this yesterday. And there was no need to run through, I mean, just about every inch of this enclosure. And look how deep these ruts are. This is right over the top of their dens. I guarantee you there's a lot of dead prairie dogs underneath here. Just every inch of this enclosure. Now you tell me, with all these ruts so close together, what exactly they could have been doing in here? What was the necessity for that whenever the proposed the alleged need for them to be in here doing this work was to put in a new wall, which is about right out there near that tree, about 20 feet farther out than the old wall. So I'd like to know what the justification for all of this here is, running through this entire enclosure. Let's go find the supervisor over here. Howdy, I'm out here to ask you what exactly is the rationale for why y'all took your machinery over just about every square inch of this enclosure and collapsed their tunnels?
It's because we're redoing their habitat.
You're redoing the habitat, so you need to drive the machinery over just about every square inch there of their enclosure to do that, just to put in this wall?
If you'd like, I'll give you the number to my supervisor if you'd like to talk to someone.
I'd appreciate that.
All right.
But you can't tell me why that was a necessity, because I can't really see that y'all did, for all the tread marks that are in that enclosure, how that equals work being done on the outer wall.
We're not just doing the outer wall. We're redoing the entire habitat. If you can see, there's mounds out there.
Okay.
We're creating new mounds.
And that's not to maybe try to cull some of the prairie dogs, collapse their burrows? Was that part of the plan?
I mean, if that's... What do you mean? We're just out here to do our job.
I mean, you're aware that the prairie dogs live there, right? And that
Obviously.
Underneath those berms are dens. Obviously. So then you obviously know then when you drive your equipment over every one of them, you're collapsing their dens, correct?
I'm done talking, but if you'd like this number to my supervisor, you can speak to him.
Okay.
It's 636-9103.
636-9103?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's his name?
Terry Points.
Terry Points?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Let's see. So, obviously, the retard is aware, he's intelligent enough to be aware that they were running over the top of their burrows here. This is what they call they're redoing their enclosure. So I guess this is the kind of morons that work for the city of Wichita Falls. Redoing the enclosure to these assholes equates to basically destroying the entire habitat where the prairie dogs lived. But they're going to improve the enclosure for what animals that will be living in here when they get finished wasting taxpayer dollars building this thing. I don't know, because after all this crap, how many of them are going to be left alive in here? make sense to you? How, you know, running through here and creating these ruts, I mean, that doesn't really look like, this just looks like a bunch of, this is just a bunch of tire marks and ruts. You know, it's not like they, you know, excavated anything, that they're laying down any plumbing or anything like that. It's just driving over all of the tunnel system here, and the dens that the prairie dogs are living in. And I assert that the reason they're doing that is they're trying to cull them out. They're trying to just kill them. And here's, way out here, this is where they're going to put the new wall. I mean, where they're going to put a 3-foot high, you know, retaining fence right here on this wall. So, you know, what does all that in there have to do with anything? I'd really appreciate it if other locals, or even if you're not a local, if people could join me in giving the city of Wichita Falls reading them the riot act about this shit, because this is unacceptable. To just come in here with a tractor, just destroy, and then, you know, piss down our backs and tell us it's raining. For this guy to sit here and tell me that what they're doing is improving the enclosure.